Yo, what's up, world? Welcome back to the channel. APW Sports signing in, and there has been some big major Chicago Bears news that has dropped today, and that is that the Bears have traded defensive end Robert Quinn to the Philadelphia Eagles in exchange for a 4th round pick. Now, I would just get right into my thoughts on this trade. I believe this trade comes a little bit too late, and I'll explain why. The value of Robert Quinn is now at a bit of a decreased level because of the, I want to say, unproduction, or the word is he hasn't been able to be as productive this year as he has last year, because at this point of the season, he only has a total of 1 sack, and that came in week 2 against the Green Bay Packers. He had a very good sack season last year, finishing off with 18.5 sacks, and I believe his value was higher at that point in the offseason than it is now. Robert Quinn at this point of his career is in his age 32 season. Even though I believe he can still be productive in this league, that just gives the Bears more transition into a younger roster. Now, of course, the Bears are going to eat a lot of the salary for the rest of this season, but you can only do so much with that money, especially at this point in the season. We're heading into week 8, close to the midway point of this season. So you're not going to get a lot of value money-wise at this point of the season now to improve your roster, because a lot of things have already been done. The Bears transition into a younger team. You're going to probably see more of Dominique Robinson, of course, more of Travis Gibson, Al-Quadin Muhammad, who they signed in the offseason. You're going to see more plays from those guys coming up in this rest of this Bears season. The loss of Robert Quinn, I believe, affects not just on the field but off the field as well, as Robert Quinn was receiving a lot of attention because of the play that he had last year and some of the things that he can still do at an age 32 season. He has a big role in this Chicago Bears defense, so he's playing more snaps at his somewhat advanced age of 32. He's coming off of an 18.5 sack season, so if you would have traded him earlier in this offseason, I believe you would have gotten more value than just a 4th round pick. Even though some of those late round picks can still be valuable. Darnell Mooney was a late round pick, so you can still get some value in late round picks. A guy like Eddie Jackson himself was a late round pick. So there are still valuable picks later in that 4th round, but I just believe if they would have traded him a little bit after the season, at the same point that the Bears traded Khalil Mack, you could have gotten a little bit more value from a team that was really looking for edge rushing help. Now, of course, it does have dead money this year, but at the end of the day, the Bears free up even more money heading into next offseason, which they were already set to have the most money going into next offseason with over $90 million in cap space. And freeing up the cap space that you would have with Robert Quinn just gives you even more flexibility to add more pieces to this roster heading into next season in 2023. So this is just the continuation of the rebuilding of this Chicago Bears roster, because you've already gotten rid of Mack, you've already gotten rid of Hicks, you already let go of guys like Trevathan and Cohen. So at this point, you're getting rid of some of the veterans. I know it's going to be a big loss in the locker room because of the leadership and the things that Robert Quinn can do in the locker room and the way that he works. Those younger guys see that, and they can element that to their own game, and you're going to lose that factor as far as the veteran that can help you with the pass rush, can help you just transition to things in the NFL as a young defensive end, and just watching him work can just make the other guys around him better. So it does have a loss for the Bears at this point of the season now, with the youngsters still being extremely young, but it does have an addition at the beginning of next offseason because you free up so much of your salary cap space. So there is a good thing about this trade and there's a bad thing about this trade. But overall, for the Bears' sake, I do give him a solid grade for this trade, because you're not going to get a lot of value for a guy now who only has 1 sack on the season. Coming off of 18.5, the production has went down and the value has went down. So you're not going to get but only so much for a guy that's, number one, at age 32, coming off an 18.5 sack season, and his numbers has dwindled. You can only get but only so much value, which is a lot of people I've seen say the Bears only got a 4th round, the Eagles stole them, which I understand. But at the end of the day, you're not going to get a lot for him. So if they can manage to get some type of compensation and still free up some of that money heading into next offseason, why wouldn't you do it, especially when you're in a rebuilding type of scenario that the Chicago Bears are in? Now, speaking of this trade for the Philadelphia Eagles standpoint, this just gives them more to work with on that defensive side of the ball. You have a guy like Fletcher Cox. You have a guy like Brandon Graham, even though some of those guys are getting older. You have a guy like Jordan Davis in the middle. You have Darius Slay. So for the Philadelphia Eagles standpoint, a team that is already undefeated at this point of the season, a team that's already have one of the top defenses in the league, that just makes them even more better, and it gives them more flexibility along their front to have an interchangeable parts. And for the Robert Quinn standpoint, he takes a little bit less of a role because of the way that the Eagles can fluctuate and give him in different packages. So he's not really exerting so much of his energy because he is the main guy in Chicago. When he goes to a team like Philly, he just fits in and gives them a quality piece that could be somewhat of a situational type of pass rusher. Even though Robert Quinn does do some very good things along in the running game, he gives the Philadelphia Eagles now a guy that they can plug and play, and he can be productive for that Philadelphia Eagles defense right away. So I will give this trade from the Philadelphia Eagles standpoint. I give the Eagles a solid grade on this trade. You get a guy that can give you some great production, some really good production for a team that's already undefeated and already has a good defense. You don't have to really pay much at this point right now in the season because the Chicago Bears are eating some of that money up. So at the end of the day, for the Philadelphia Eagles, you get a guy that's good. You get a guy that can be productive. You don't pay that money to him because the Bears are oriented to him. And a team that's already undefeated, a team that has a very good defense, their Philadelphia Eagles team, I believe, just got that much better on the defensive side of the ball for now and possibly for years to come, depending on what they're going to do with Robert Quinn after this 2022 season. So for the Bears, I give them a good grade. I mean, it's a little bit late, but at the end of the day, they still get some value for a guy that was basically starting to dwindle a little bit, and they get more money for next year. And for the Eagles, they get a guy that can plug and play to a team that's already undefeated, a team that has some type of Super Bowl aspirations, that could come in, play now, and give this team some lift and give this team some production on the football field. So for both teams, I think it's a win-win trade. For the Bears, they win later, and for the Eagles, they win it now. But hey, those are just my thoughts on this Bears trade of Robert Quinn to the Eagles. Make sure you guys leave this video a like, as it always and continues to help this channel to grow. And if you are one of the people that are not subbed, go ahead and click the subscribe button and notification bell so you will not miss any of the videos. And make sure to comment you guys' thoughts down below. I know I've seen some various different opinions on Twitter, Facebook, and all that. I would love to see what you guys think. But I am APW Sports signing out. Make sure you guys stay safe. Have a great and excellent day, and I will catch you guys later. Peace.